Hiveaura Collective. Here we are again for another week. I was so honored and so humbled by some of the feedback that you guys left on the reading last week. That was super exciting for me to read, and it really validated me sharing these things with you. So here we are. It is week 2. If you didn't watch last week's video, I would encourage you to go back and have a look at it, just because there are some breakdowns or explanations, I guess you could say, about what oracle card readings are. So please go back and start there. If you watched it last week and you got something out of it and you're looking for something this week, I am so happy to have you back. I am Emily McKinney Cody. You can find me on Instagram at Connecting with Cody. That is where I kind of post all of my card readings. I'm a certified angel guide, which means I provide angel guide sessions. I connect with your guides, and I am a clairaudient and clairvoyant mystic is how I like to word it. So if you want to get in touch, please reach out. I would love to do that for you. I would love to have a conversation. Okay, so this week, the week of February 27th, I had to meditate on this one a little bit. On Sundays, I do my meditation. I sort of like ask my guides, what is it that I need to know? What is the message that I need to share with the people that I encountered this week? And the theme that kept coming up, last week was all about the new moon. This week, the theme that kept coming up is our paradigms and shifting our paradigms. And so what does that mean? Well, our paradigms are the thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that we hold. Oftentimes they have been ingrained in us for a very long time. They're the beliefs that we have. It's how we move through the world. It's what we believe about ourselves. It's how we show up. And so I've been doing a lot of work and a lot of research, I guess you could say, learning about how to shift your paradigm. And it is truly a very scientific process. It's not enough to just change your mindset. We can change our mindset all we want. That doesn't necessarily mean that it helps change our patterns and our beliefs. We change our beliefs and our patterns through actions. And so that's one thing that I would encourage you to think about as you move through this week. If you are in a place where you want to change your paradigm, where you want to shift the way that you are moving through the world, you have to look at your actions and the way that you're showing up to do those things. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And so that's true for many things, but it's especially true for this. So as you move through this week, take a look at the things that you've been writing down. If you've been participating in the journaling challenge in the Hiveaura Collective group, please take a look. Think about how you want to change your life. Look at how you're moving through your world. Look at the goals that you're setting for yourself, and then decide if your actions match the words that you're putting out into the world. If they're not, then you've got some work to do, right? But if they are, please show up as that person. One thing that I will say is that, let me think about how I want to do this. So changing our paradigms, changing our life, changing how we show up in the world, it requires us to do some very, very deep self-reflection and really examine our own self-worth, because our paradigms are often not ours. And that's a tricky thing for people to wrap their heads around. Our paradigms are often not ours. Most times our paradigms, our beliefs about ourselves and what we're capable of and what we're allowed to and destined to achieve is generational. It's carried in our bodies from generations before us, and we hold a lot of belief in ourselves that was held in previous generations. So this is what a generational cycle would be. And so I knew that this was the right message to share with you, because last night in my meditation, I pulled for myself the Elder card. After my meditation, I always pull one card for myself, and I pulled Elder, Move Beyond Ancestral Patterns. And so this guidance was all about really looking hard at the belief systems that I hold, how it affects the way I show up in the world, what I think I'm truly capable of, and if that's a belief that is my own, or if it's something that I've absorbed from the environment that I've been in my entire life, and that an idea or a thought pattern that those have believed before me. So this week, examine that too, right? What things are you holding on to that are generational in nature, that don't actually serve and support the person that you want to be? So that is the channeled message that I was called to share with you this week. I am going to do a 3-card spread again to help us figure out what's the best way for us to shift our paradigms, for us to change those patterns, for us to change those beliefs. I will do a 3-card spread. That is my signature spread. First card will be our current energy for this moment in this theme. A message from our teams of light, our higher self, our angels, however you choose to look at it. And then the last one will be what's to come, next directions, things to think about as we move forward when we look at shifting our paradigms. So I'm going to give these a shuffle very quickly. I threw the Elder card back in, so it is an option to return to us if it feels like it's a message that we need to choose. We got another jumper, so I'm going to put it out. So jumpers are cards that jump out of the deck as you're shuffling. We never put them back in. They're always a message that we're meant to hear because it will support us on the path that we're on. And so because it jumped out, I put it here, I put it to the side. It will be the first card or current energy. So just give these a good shuffle. I'm going to lay them out. However, before we go and do this, and I pull the cards for you, I'm going to invite you to close down your eyes. We're going to do a quick centering, aligning, a little bit of breath work and a little prayer just to get centered in this moment. Okay, I'm going to invite you, palms open, face up, to take a big deep breath in through the nose. Hold and release out through the mouth. Another big deep breath in through the nose. Hold and release through the mouth. One more time. Big deep breath in. Hold. And release. Just going to ask you to sit here quietly for a moment. Take in the breath that you just inhaled and released. Think of inhaling as bringing in all of the good that you need right now. And think of the exhale as the release of all that does not serve you. Thank you, angels, guides, ancestors, spirits, teams of light in the universe, for supporting us on this path and for bringing us all together. Thank you for delivering the message of how we need to shift our paradigms in order to be the best versions of ourselves. I know that every card that comes through in this reading for this group of people is meant for them to hear it. It is a message they need to hear. It is a message that will support them. Thank you for delivering that to us, and we know that it is for the highest good of all involved. As above, so below, so within, so without, so be it, and so it is. Open your eyes. Let's get started. So we already have one card pumped out. I hope that you're feeling good. I hope that that little breath exercise made you feel some type of way. I always find it super calming, super relaxing. Okay. My hands are super cold, so friction is a little bit tricky right now. Let's see, I just created energy and I'm hovering over the ones that are the warmest because those are the ones that I'm guided to pull out. And I'm also trying to pay attention if it comes through my left hand, which is my receiving hand, and my right hand, which is my projecting hand. If you want to know more about that, you can give me a follow. Sometimes it helps just to get quiet. Oh, there we go. That one was nice and warm, hidden. All right, so get the other cards out of the way. Okay. So, shifting our paradigms, examining the patterns that we've been moving through, the motions that we've been moving through, the belief systems that we've been holding on to. The very first card is our current energy. This was the card that jumped out. And it's very fitting for our current energy because shifting our paradigms can feel like a big thing, especially if we have never done the work. Changing the way that we have always viewed ourselves is very hard. Don't for a second think that this is an easy thing just because I'm sitting here telling you that we should look at changing our paradigms. Matching your words to your actions is hard. Matching your actions to the person that you want to become is hard. And so the card that jumped out, which I think is very fitting, and it reveals a lot to us as a collective, is Druid, hold the space. So what this card is asking you to do is essentially get quiet, feel what you need to feel, release what you need to release, whether that's emotionally. Emotional releases are so powerful. And so when you have them, I encourage you to acknowledge them. So for some of us, myself, it's when you, like, I either do something or I understand something or I get something and I just have like this full on like cry fest because I need to get it out. And that's how the emotion comes out. That's an emotional release. Some people it's laughing. Like it just really depends on who you are as a person. So I encourage you to feel those very deeply when they come up for you. But Druid is asking us to hold the space. It's asking us to get quiet and understand that the work is never going to be easy. The work will always be hard. It'll just feel less hard the more acclimated you get to it. So the more that you understand the journey that you are on and the things that you're trying to achieve, the work still takes work, but it's just easier for you to wrap your head around. So the same thing goes for shifting those belief systems that you're holding inside of you. So Druid is asking you to hold the space. Druids are tree dwellers. And they're very connected to the way that the trees experience the world. They're very connected to it. They're like the messengers of the trees. And so if you think about that from that perspective, the Druid is asking us to stand strong, to stand tall, and to listen, and to take in what's around us and decide what is right for us and decide what paradigms we've been living in and how we need to move forward next. But you have to hold your space. You have to hold space for yourself and for those around you. So you're not only shifting your paradigms, when you start to shift and change your belief systems and the life that you want and the things that you're working for, it's going to change the people around you in your circle. Okay. And some of them are going to come with you and some of them are not. And that is okay. But you're going to have to hold space for that. And you might have to do a little bit of understanding work yourself. Right? Understanding that not everyone is going to be on your journey. Not everyone is going to follow you. Not everyone is going to get it or understand, but you have to hold space for them as well. So that is your current energy. Druid, hold the space. Okay. Message from your guides, teams of light, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, higher self. This is the message from them for shifting your paradigm. What do we need to know for changing those belief systems? Knight, be brave and honest. This is very important. I think it comes down to being very honest with ourselves and getting very quiet and being very understanding of So you're going to do a couple of things here. You're going to hold the space, right? Which you're going to create this space for yourself where you feel heard, and you start to understand what it is that you need and what you want and where you're going. And then there's going to come a time when you have to be really brave about it, when you start to tell people, right? When you start to show up differently, when you start to bloom and grow, and those that are with you that don't get it, don't do the same. You have to be brave. You have to hold on to that. You have to understand that you are worth that. And you can do it with integrity. You can do it with love. You can do it with compassion. Those are all very important things to remember. Just because somebody's coming with you doesn't mean we kick them to the curb, right? You have to meet people where they're at. So you have to do that with yourself as well. And so radical self-acceptance, radical self-love and compassion, more than anything. Self-compassion is different than self-love. Recognizing and being compassionate with yourself, but being brave enough to change those paradigms that you know need to be changed, to change those belief systems, is so important. And it's going to be such a big factor in how you change the patterns that you've been working through. But be honest about it too, right? Like, be honest with the things that don't serve you. Be honest about the patterns that don't serve you. Be honest about the directions and the paths that no longer align with you, because that's going to open up a whole new world as well. So don't be afraid to do that. So your higher self, your angels, your teams of light, the universe is reminding you that you're strong, you're resilient, you can do things honorably, with compassion and with love and with bravery, and you can be honest in the process with yourself and those around you. Light. Okay, third and final card. This is our next directions, what's to come, things that we might need to know for shifting our patterns, our belief systems, changing our paradigms. Hunter, track down your fears and desires. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good set of cards. So everything that you want essentially is on the other side of fear, and changing the way that you've always shown up in the world, and the way that you think about yourself, and the way that you interact with people in your life, and doing things the way that you've always done them. They've served you to a point, but do they really serve you now? Are they really what you want now? Is it really who you were meant to be? Are you showing up exactly the way that you know that you could, right? Or is there more for you? I believe there's more for you because I believe that there is more for everyone. Always and forever, there's more than enough to go around for everyone forever. Okay, period. Okay, so Hunter is reminding you that your desires and your fears are essentially one and the same, right? Everything that scares us is something that okay, I'm going to rephrase that because that's not accurate. Our desires often scare us, but that is why we desire them, because we know that we are meant for more. We know that we need to show up for more, and we know that the things that we want are outside of our comfort zones. Those are the edges. And when you're pushed up against an edge, you feel like you can't go another step, like you're going to have a mental fucking breakdown if one more thing is piled on for you. But then the minute you step over that edge and you learn that it's not the scariest thing in the world, and that the world didn't crumble underneath your feet, and actually everything is better than you thought it was going to be, you just needed to take that first step. That's tracking down your fears and your desires. Everything that you want is available to you in any shape or form. Absolutely anything. And it comes down to believing, holding a mindset, having some kind of strategy, because Lord knows we need that, and then having actions every day that represent the person you're trying to become, that represent the pattern that you're trying to change, that are the new belief system you're attempting to hold, right? And it will not be perfect, and you will have difficulty, and there will be days that you fail, and there will be days where you're like, I don't get it. I can't do this. But you can. And so you're going to take that time, and you're going to reset, and you're going to show up, and you're going to do it again. You're going to show up the next day and keep on trucking, because that's what you're supposed to do. Because you can, because you are capable. You have the availability for more, and we believe in you. Okay? So your next direction is to hunt down the things that you want. Hunt down the things you need to change. Do not be afraid to go get them. Do not be afraid to step over that line, the imaginary line that is the edge. Okay, continue to show up every single day as that version of you, of the things that you want, of the person you want to be. I hope that makes sense. I hope that this reading resonated with you. I hope that you got something out of it. And if you feel called, please hop on over to Instagram, give me a follow at Connecting with Cody, or just let me know what your comments, thoughts, feelings are after getting this reading and having this chat about paradigms and shifting your belief systems in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Pop into my DMs also if you want to chat more about it, or if you have questions. I would love to have conversations with you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to do this again for a second week in a row. If you would like an angel guide session, please feel free to reach out. I am Emily McKenney Cody. This was a weekly guidance for the Hiveaura Collective. I love you. Have an amazing week ahead.